So, hi everyone, this is Maya Frank Inspired Life, and today I'm talking with Heather Dempsey. And I actually wanted to talk to her about her amazing new course called The Energetic Mastery of Goals. And the reason why, because it sounded like a really different course than I've ever seen before. So, I wanted to talk to Heather firsthand to see what it's all about. So, hi Heather, welcome, and
Hi,
thanks for
Maya.
joining.
Thank you.
So excited to hear about the course you're launching and you're actually doing already. It's really fascinating. So, what is actually energetic mastery of goals? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, I would love to. It's a course that goes deeper than most goals courses. So, in my history, I've been studying and practicing goal achievement for years and still had aspects to these things that I've struggled with. Even when I've worked with the best, the best of the best as far as goal achievement, there were parts that I would get frozen and I didn't know where to go from there because I was stuck. And so through kind of time of releasing the intention of reaching goals, because it felt so frustrating, I started to really want to dive back into it and started to explore different methods. And what I found is a lot of people talk about the why of your goal. They will talk about, understanding your why, getting connected to your why, but they stop just before we get to the real why. And so I want to dig deeper, go all the way down to the root of the why, to like the cellular level, the why that will change your life, just in discovering the why. So not just in discovering how to achieve the goal, but actually identifying your why. So that's the very first part that I find that a lot of the courses are missing. There's not this energetic level, the vibration of us, this our frequency, where we are attracted and what is attracted to us. So when we can really, really get clear on that and know how to change the frequency, the vibration, the energy in our direction, then that's when we can really change what we can manifest and what we can experience.
Yeah, this is really interesting that you mentioned that why we always think about that, but how deep can we really go? And I feel like that's really what I like about your work is that your work is very profound, I find. How is it different from other courses for all of those wondering, oh yes, another goal setting course, but like, okay, we go into the why. Is there anything else that you can tell us that makes this course different?
Yeah, sure. There's things that are similar to this course with other courses, things that we touch on like SMART goals and affirmations and vision boards, but we touch on them. So many other courses, that is the focus. The achieving and identifying your SMART goal is the whole course. But this is identifying the SMART goal, going through all the process, figuring out what resources you need, what you already have, and then to say, okay, now let's get real about what this means we have to do with our life, and are you willing to? So exploring this idea of what if where you get stuck is that you're actually not willing to make the sacrifices you might need to make, or if you're not willing to change the habits as severely as you might need to reach that goal. This is where a lot of other goal courses or coaches would be like, well, you're not my ideal client. Well, I'm telling you, if that's you, you are my ideal client. We don't all want to sacrifice everything that's in our comfort zone in order to get where we want to go, right? Sometimes we want to sacrifice some, or we're willing to sacrifice some of it, but not all of it. And that's where it's different, is I help you figure that part out. What's worth the sacrifice? What do we need to really dig even deeper for the why, or do we need to reconfigure the goal? What is the end result? What are you willing to accept as your achievement? So it's just this, again, this alignment with what the feeling is, the real feeling, not the feeling you'll have when you get the new car, but the feeling you have about your life, about your worthiness, about your experiences, and figuring out how can you feel that even if you're not going to reach the $1 million mansion and the vacations in Bali. How can you still feel the feelings? And it is possible. And when we reach that level of energetic match or alignment, you actually have more likelihood of reaching that goal of the mansion and the vacations in Bali. But we're doing it in these little steps that are real, that are realistic. You don't have to drop everything and go on this like binge diet of life to reach your goals. So That's,
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I feel like is very important because oftentimes that's why we self-sabotage. We feel like overwhelmed by the goal and it feels like it's too much. And we do want to dream bigger. We want to put that bar high, but at the same time, it can be very overwhelming. And as you said, it sometimes would require us to completely change our lives, and it's like a big step, so if you break it down and go step by step and get there easier, you're going to get there anyway, and probably faster than you think. I think it's important for people to know that they shouldn't get it discouraged if their goal is smaller, if it's linked to the ultimate goal, right?
right. And if I can add to
Yeah.
that, right, I totally was thinking the word discouraged. So yeah, people don't feel as accomplished when their goal is not quite as big as their neighbor next to them, right? But that little goal that you achieve is establishing confidence. It's building on your confidence. It's building your trust in yourself, building your ability to achieve, which gives you more motivation than the person that might be next to you because you've already done it. You've done that. And the subconscious doesn't understand how big or how little the goal is, but you do. You're mentally and consciously, you do. So when you have that little accomplishment, it's just another notch on the belt of I can do this, I can handle it. And when we set the big goals that are unrealistic to where we are in our present experience, that's when we actually become more discouraged. We lose confidence. We don't have faith in our ability. So setting the smaller goal, again, not saying that we're not reaching for the big one, but there are just little steps to the goals, and identifying them is so valuable.
Yeah, and so it's exactly like you said, like it builds confidence and then you're more likely to get their goal and probably sooner than you think. I think that's really important and I really love that about your course. So that would be probably the reason why people usually fail or why they procrastinate, is that you feel like that's the main reason, that they're like just putting too much pressure on themselves and picking an unrealistic goal.
I think it's two parts. I think it's that, but I do think it comes right back down to the why, right? If we have this understanding, so many people's why is like, well, I would like to, and the two big goals are about health and wellness and money, right? They're the two, usually the main sources. And most people feel like their why, let's say it's for money, wanting to receive a certain or achieve a certain level of success. It would allow them to provide for their family. Now, to a lot of people, like you can feel that in your belly, right? I can provide for my family. Like that feels so complete, but there's even more to it than that. And so when we can connect to where does that come from? Is that past life? Is that about your own place in this world? The goal might be too big and the why might not be clear enough. And so when we can get deeper into the why, there's less procrastination because there's more passion, there's more drive to get there. Because when you can really tap into that why, man, I get chills when I think about this. When you can tap into it, it is your everyday motivation, every day. Where when your motivation is about the surface level achievement, the surface level why of, oh, I'll have a nice house, we'll have a roof over our head, I'll be able to feed my kids. There's still this part of it that is a little bit induced by fear, right? Because if I don't reach the goal, it's going to be that I can't feed my kids. I'll be a failure. And that's not motivating, right? But when the motivation comes from the light within, as cheesy as that might sound, when the motivation comes from what would complete this lifetime, there's something that drives you so much stronger from that. So it can kind of eliminate procrastination, or at least turn the volume down significantly from it or on it.
Awesome. Well, it sounds amazing. So how can people get in touch with you? How can they start a course or work with you?
Yeah, just reaching out, connecting through my website, which is www.heatheradempsey.com. So just signing on to my website, there's going to be programs that you can click on and scroll down and click on there, or just contact me. So contact me through email or the website.
Yeah, and you guys, you can check it out. There's more info about the course on the website. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Heather. She's super nice, as you can see, and she'll definitely help you crush those goals. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me, and good luck with everything and reaching your goals.
Thanks, Maya.